Well, tomorrow's Valentine's Day and I'm getting ready to decorate a cake. I'm not decorating a cake for us. I'm decorating a cake to take to the county recorder's office because every year on Valentine's Day, members of the gay and lesbian community go to the recorder's office and the couples ask if they can have a marriage license so they can get married. And the county recorder, who's extremely sympathetic, explains that no, they can't have a marriage license because it's illegal in California. And the press comes and everything else. Well, this year, the people who are organizing it, my friends Ellen and Shelley, decided that they'd like to have a cake because it's 2 years ago today that they are actually legally married in San Francisco, and then 6 months later their marriages were invalidated. So I'm making a cake to take to the county recorder's office. Now, one thing that you need to know is that in my earlier years I used to be a cake decorator, so I used to do this all the time. So I'm just going to make a little, kind of record a little bit as I go along, and you can see how this cake takes shape, and we'll all see whether it turns out to be any good or not. The buttercream I use for this cake is really, really simple. All you do is you add 1.5 cups of Crisco. I find Crisco works better than other things. I'm putting decorations on the side of this thing, and this is really the way you do it. You just kind of glop up your hands and stick it into the side of the cake and hope that it sticks. Anyway, it's 1.5 cups of Crisco and 2 cups of powdered sugar, a 1/2 cup of milk, 2 teaspoons of flavoring, whatever flavoring you want, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then you just mix the whole thing forever. Mix the whole thing until about, it says 15 minutes. I have a heavy-duty mixer, and a heavy-duty mixer you really only need to mix it about 5 minutes. Okay, I think I've got about as many of these on here as I'm going to stick. So I'm going to stick this on top of the cake. This is going to have bride and groom on it. So we're going to stick it. Now we're going to do some of the fun part. I have some permanent kinds of cloth bags, but I usually end up using paper ones. You fold them into a cone like this. I haven't done this in so long. Let's see, I think we want to first start with making an edge along the bottom here to hold all those little you know, I started doing cake decorating because there was no bakery in this town. The only place where you could get a decorated cake was at Safeway. And people weren't really happy with that, and I took a cake decorating class at the art center at the adult school and made a cake for a friend, and then a friend of a friend wanted a cake, and then another friend of a friend, and it worked into a real business for a couple of years there. I didn't realize, of course, that you needed little things like licenses and kitchen inspections and that sort of thing. Then when a bakery did open up, I was the first cake decorator because they didn't have a cake decorator, and I worked there for a little bit until they finally got one. I freely admit that I am not a cake decorator, and I don't take nearly as much time now as I used to. I actually used to turn out some pretty good stuff. Now I just kind of slop it together because I have to figure out how to get the 2 couples on here. I tried putting all 4 couples on top of this layer, and it just didn't seem to work. So I'm going to put the 2 brides up here, and the lesbians go on top, and the gay guys go on the bottom. I think one of the reasons I decided I wanted to learn cake decorating was because I wanted to learn how to make frosting roses. I've never tried to do it while looking at a camera, though. First thing about making a frosting rose is that you have to make this nice little core down here that you're going to build on. And how big the rose is how big the core is. See, like that? Then from that core, you begin to make the petals. The row here, there's only a 2-row rose. There you go. When you're all finished, you have this lovely frosting rose. And I'm going to take it. Let's see. It's really terrible when you're your own camera person. I can't get to see the the cake. Ah, there we go. All right, we're going to put the rose here between the two brides. And then I'm going to make a few more roses, and then I'm going to call this thing finished. And I'm hoping that the grooms continue to stay standing up. I've decided that the grooms are standing in a rose field. I don't think anybody is going to notice. I'm not even sure how many people are going to show up for this thing tomorrow. But if they show up, they'll have something to eat anyway. There we go. That's not looking too bad. You can also make rosebuds directly on the cake. You just kind of make a little flower petal like that, and it ends up looking like a rosebud. That's the easy way to do it. That kind of ties it all together for me. I'm going to make leaves. Only when I make a leaf, I don't use a leaf tip. Some people do. I cut across a comb like this, and I cut it into kind of a V shape, like that. And then when it comes out looking kind of like a leaf. So we're going to put leaves on these little babies here. That always kind of makes it look a little better. So my finger has got a cramp in it. Okay. Sorry, I've got to go rinse my finger. It's cramped horribly. This is why I don't bake cakes anymore. So I'm about ready to call this finished. I have made a lot better cakes in my day, but this will suit for what it's made. They advertised that there were going to be refreshments at the event. People are coming for the cake, and there will be cake. And the gay couples won't be able to marry because gay couples can't marry in this country. And that'll be the end of it. There are the leaves. A few more on here just for ducks. Okay. Doesn't look too bad. My groom still wants to bend over, but I think it looks okay. What do you think? Think that will fit the bill? I hope so. So happy Valentine's Day. Here's to another day when we celebrate inequality because people of the same sex can't marry the people that they love. And enjoy your day.
Go into the chapel and we're